Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that purpose?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of it. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew.
All right, all right. What's up? What it do? Let me make sure I'm transmitting. Make sure my audio is good. It is all right. So we're ready to go here. What's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland. Listen, if you're coming in tonight, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this thread, and let's get the conversation started. Tonight we're going to continue a theme that we have been going with for the last couple of weeks, entitled Less Flirting and More Courting. And so we're dealing with several aspects of the dating process. But let's get ready to get this conversation started. I'm excited about it. I'm ready. Supposed to have some more people coming in, jumping in the conversation in a few minutes. If they come, hey, we're cool. If they don't, we're gonna be all right. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So if you all are in the audience and you want to be a part of the conversation, you are welcome to do so. We're not going to be stingy with the conversation. We welcome all opinions. I don't profess to have all of the answers at all. I don't even try to give you the right or wrong answer. Really, what I try to do is I try to give you a relevant answer. And if you can find some solace, or if you can find some clarity in your own, in what we say or what somebody says, then it works for me, and that makes it all worth it to me. So that's what I want to do tonight. I want to continue this conversation. We've been dealing with this theme, and trying to remember what did we talk about? I forgot what we were talking. Oh yeah, we were talking about the other night. We were talking about um all right, do we set our expectations too high too soon? We won't do we, before we've established ourselves in a relationship, or where we're going in a relationship, then we put these lofty expectations out. And then when we put these lofty expectations out, then you have people who will probably disqualify themselves before they've really gotten a chance to know you. And I'm wondering, is it because we put too many expectations on people too soon? What's wrong with just really getting to know somebody? Do we do that anymore? That's the whole thing with this whole courting piece that we're trying to deal with on the show in this thing. So I was trying to get some more women in tonight, but don't have them just yet. We'll get them in a few minutes, hopefully. But I'm going to bring my partner in a few minutes when he comes back, and we'll get him in on this conversation. But if you're in the chat, like I said, go ahead and speak. Say hello, say cat, dog, say boo, say something, and let me know that you are listening. All right. And we're going to get this conversation started in a few minutes. I'm waiting on a couple of people, honestly. Oops, I just made a mistake. I'm trying to do something. I'm over here doing something in the background too, because I don't like the way that overlay looks. And because I don't like the way it looks, I am going to change it right now in the middle of the show because I don't like it. So I'm going to change it. Can I change it? Y'all don't mind? Cool. Thank you. I appreciate you for allowing me to change it on the show because I ain't like the way it was covered up my face. So there we go. I changed it real fast. Y'all say how I did that? That's good. I'm getting better at these graphics. I like the bigger words too. Don't get me wrong, but I got to be able to see my head a little bit. But I'm not going to leave it up here the whole time. All right. So nobody has spoken yet. Nobody say hi, say something. All right. Let me look on here and see whose names. I got a couple people like to hear their names. So let me see who is in the audience. All right. Donnie is in the audience. How you doing, Donnie? Let me see who else is in the audience. LP, I see you, bro. I'm coming to get you in just one moment. Yeah, come in, share this thread, like the post, say hello, and like I said, let's get this thing going. Let's get this conversation going. Now, when we had this conversation, hey there, Donnie. I'm gonna bring LP in now first. Let me get him, and then we'll get this thing going. I'm gonna put the link in the chat as well. LP, what's going on, bro?
What's going on? What's going on, King?
I don't know it, man. I'm trying to make it on this thing called life. How's life treating you?
Man, all is well. No complaints. I could complain, but it wouldn't change a thing, so I ain't gonna do it.
You grown? You grown. If you want to complain, you complain, bro. If you want to complain, you let. And now don't do it to me, but anybody else who's willing to listen. Anybody else who's willing to listen, you go ahead and complain all you want to. No, I'm just joking. Everybody else doing it. I don't see why you won't do it either. But man, no, I appreciate you, man, for stepping in on Monday night, man. You dropped some gems, man, and we're appreciative for what you shared the other night, bro. I appreciate that for real.
It's no problem, man. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
But man, you're gonna get as many opportunities as you'll allow us to use. You're gonna get more of those opportunities. Now, I'm trying. I want to go forward with tonight's conversation, but before we go forward, I do want to go back for a minute because we had the young lady who came on the other night, and you remember Patricia,
right?
And Patricia made a statement, and I'm gonna start with this tonight. Patricia made a statement. Let me put this link in the chat for anybody who wants to jump on the conversation tonight. Patricia made a statement the other night. She said, "I won't submit to a man until he puts a ring on it." And when she said that, LP, I made a face kind of like this because I was confused. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I was so confused. I'll be honest with you. Listen, hey, I see 8 people in the chat at least so far. So if y'all are there, share this thread for me. Number 1. Number 2, say hello, say hi. I promise I'm gonna call your name if I see you, Sabrina Trotter, and let me see who else I see in there. But yeah, y'all come on and let's get this conversation started. What do y'all think about that? The young lady said the other night, and if she's listening, hopefully she'll jump in a minute. What's going on, Sheriff Fields? She'll jump in a minute. I know because she's not ashamed. But she said we're talking about relationships because what we're trying to do is, oh my Don't go nowhere. I'm coming right back. Hold on. You hear me, LP?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't go nowhere. I'm coming right back. I promise you I am. I don't know what I just put the phone on top of the computer and it cut off my computer. So I don't know what's going on. But
Oh,
hey,
wow.
whenever I fall out like that, you just start talking, okay? just come in. Just cover me up. Just cover your boy up, and then we'll be good. All right. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. But as I was saying before, we were so rudely interrupted. Let me fix this camera. All right, here we go. One more should do it. There we go. I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost back in the studio. But I didn't lose y'all this time at least. The other night I lost you. All right, let me close.
Well, we lost our. Okay.
Here we are. Here I am.
Okay.
All right, cool. I had a screen like that. Don't put nothing else on top of the keyboard. All right, so we had this conversation the other night, and Patricia, one of our loyal followers, she said that she's not going to submit to anybody until they put a ring on it. That's what she said. What did you think about that statement, LP?
Well, personally, from what I've gathered from, paying attention and listening and learning to a lot of our sisters, having a heart-to-heart conversation, the root cause behind that is fear.
Okay.
And the fear of submitting to any sort of leadership. The idea is, well, if I get good leadership, then I'll submit to that leadership. But the reality is, more than likely, you're not, in terms of relationships, more than likely, you're not going to submit to leadership. And, a lot of people like that, they struggle with submitting to any form of leadership, whether it be at work, whether it be at church, whether it be, you get what I'm saying? Because of how leadership have fumbled. You feel me? Whether it was her father, whether it was her mother, whether it was a teacher, whether it was a pastor, you get what I'm saying? Because of leadership fumbling, the idea of submitting to any form of leadership, a lot of people, they just cannot do it. And so they'll say, well, if I get good leadership, I'll submit to it. But again, it more than likely, that struggle is gonna be there, whether it's good leadership or not.
Well, you brought up an interesting point the other night, and if you read Michelle Alexander's book, Jim, the new Jim Crow.
The new Jim Crow.
Yeah, she highlights this point. She says that that we'll submit to how, especially African American women, will submit to corporate America, submit to their jobs, submit to their work, and be loyal for like 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
20, 30 years. I mean, and we'll take a 15-minute break, pull out that little cheese sandwich, go hit that cigarette right quick, whatever they're going to do, and be back at their desk complaining the whole time,
Yes,
but
sir.
they're going to be loyal to their job. But then you have a problem submitting at home. And I get it, because, you've had poor models, and we've seen so many negative examples, even in social media. Because do you ever see some social media give good stories, LP?
Good stories?
I mean, about relationships, especially Black relationships. They don't really highlight.
No, not at all.
They don't want us to see that, and even, we had Bill Cosby back in the day, but they demonized Bill.
Yes, sir.
Bill have been to prison now, and
yes, sir.
The dude on Family Matters, he showed up at Diddy parties now. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who was a positive role model as far as the familial structure, it has been tainted. You know what I'm saying?
They shot it down.
So the Black family, the dynamics of the Black family has been redefined, if you will. I was talking to my chiropractor now, and she said something that men can carry babies in their uterus now. I mean, there's some way they can do transits. They could help them. I don't want to get into all that, because I don't want to get picketed like that. I don't want nobody picketing me up. Listen, if y'all are here and you listening, if you have not liked or shared this post, will you do it for me right quick, please? Pretty please. I mean, in a LP and I go. So, ladies, do you? Because that's what Patricia said. Do you have to have a ring in order to submit? I'm still confused by that ideology, but do you have to have a ring in order to submit? And while y'all are answering that question, my buddy, my friend LP and I are gonna continue. LP, you said something yesterday. What did we talk yesterday or today? Yesterday,
Day
right?
before.
Day before, okay. And we talked about pain junkies. Explain that concept of pain junkie.
You got people who like it's unfortunate. Many people who have experienced pain in the past, they will cling to that pain because they know how that pain is going to make them feel, and they know how they're going to be able to respond to it.
Mhm.
So because of that, you have some people who crave control, like they have to be in control. So with them growing up in an experience where they always experience pain, they
Mhm.
can control how they're going to feel.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? You got people that struggle with that issue of control so much. You know what I'm saying? And so if they get triggered by a particular thing and it takes them somewhere emotionally, they know how it's going to feel and they know what to do with it. Right?
Wow.
They know
Yeah.
how to cope. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us we develop coping strategies, whether it be eating, whether it be sex, whether it be masturbation, whether it be cutting themselves, whether it be working out, whether it be working, cleaning up. You get what I'm saying? And so somebody that don't make them hurt, don't cause them to experience pain, people will push away from people like that. They'll say you're boring. Oh man, this dude is boring. This dude is lame. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You get with somebody. A guy get with a girl that's a good sister. Think about it. In this did you see the best man? The continuation of the best man. Did you see that?
I don't remember. I've been
Okay.
forgetting.
Well, there was a movie called The Best Man. You remember with Lorenz Tate? Not Lorenz Tate. You remember with
I remember the best man. Yeah, but
okay, they had a continuation of that just came out like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Okay. I don't know if I saw that one or not.
Okay, well, in that
don't take my black card.
Well, in that continuation, you remember what's the light skinned dude name? What's his name? Played in Hustle and Flow.
Yeah. Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, yeah. So in that, Terrence Howard, he had you remember in the movie, he ended up sleeping with the girl that he hated. You remember her?
No.
The girl that the dude with the dreads was dealing with, and he was saying she crazy, leave her alone. They ended up getting drunk and they ended up sleeping together.
I don't think I saw that movie. I mean, I'm messing up your analogy right now, but y'all better help LP with his analogy, y'all, because I do not remember. I ain't used to be lying to go into hell. I do not remember.
Well, anyway, in the continuation that they just put out a few years ago, Terrence Howard.
It was Shelby. At least it was Shelby. Okay, we got you now. There we go.
Terrence Howard started dealing with that woman, and that woman gave him all type of, you know what I'm saying, issues, and he left her alone, right? He quit her and got with a new girl. The new girl was a good woman. She got him into meditating, got him into eating healthy. You know what I'm saying? She was good to him, right? But he ended up seeing the crazy girl, and they went back and forth on how they hate each other, and they grabbed each other, embraced each other, and kissed each other, and he left his woman to be with her.
Wow.
He ended up being with her, and while being with her, she had him back to his old habits. He's partying and wilding and this, that, and the other. He ended up almost dying. He didn't win the hospital dealing with that girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you left a really good woman.
Wow.
who was good to you, helped you with your diet, helped you with meditation, helped you to live clean, getting yourself together. You left her to go be with the girl who was a whole fool. And the reason why is because we're pain freaks. And if you look at the movie shows Terrence Howard, his relationship with his dad. His dad always made him feel horrible.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, go ahead.
Dealing with that woman, that was familiarity. And unfortunately, we go after what's familiar. So if we had parental figures that made us feel some type of way, we're going to go after a mate that's going to make us feel some type of way. Why? Because it's familiar, and the brain connects familiarity with safety.
Yeah, and those attachment styles make a difference too, because we love how we were loved a lot of times, and that's
absolutely
we act that out. So that kind of brings us to our thought tonight, because tonight I was talking about, I asked this question, how long should you wait to move on? Now, how long have you been married?
20 years. Just made 20 years in September 18th.
Man, I'm gonna be like you when I grow up. I made 20 years. I ain't gonna lie. I did do 20, but I didn't make it beyond. I ain't make 21 though. But this is the thing, because the question is, and I put this question on my Facebook page today. How long should you wait to move on after a breakup? That was the question that I put out, right? And of course, I knew everybody. What's going on, Viola? I knew everybody was gonna say, it depends. It depends. I really like a little more critical thought. And I'm sorry I didn't put, I saw your post today. I'm sorry I didn't put more cretical thought into what you put out there. Usually I will. So give me a pass on that one today when you ask a question.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Sometimes I just use sound bites or, a little parable or something like that and keep it moving. But I saw those people writing essays and stuff. I said, oh Lord, I got to put a little more thought into my boys' post. But most people put it depends. It depends. No, give me a little more context than it depends. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
I know that it depends. I get it. It depends. But how long did it take you? And because one ideology is that the easiest way to get over one is to what? Get on
top of another.
Get on top or under another one, right? But
right.
I believe that when you move on too soon, oftentimes that's really a way of moving from pain to pleasure.
Absolutely.
Because it's
a coping strategy.
It's a coping. Nobody wants to hurt, right?
Nope.
And if you do hurt, like for instance, I had a tooth, man. I ain't gonna lie, that was broken in my mouth for a long time. And every time I would go to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned, they would ask me, do you want to get that tooth pulled? I'm like, no. And they like, why not? I said, because it ain't hurting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because why would I cause myself some pain when I'm not feeling any pain, right? Why would I go? This thing ain't bothering me. Now, eventually, I did eventually get it taken care of because I knew I needed to get it taken care of. But typically, if we're feeling pain, Alicia Milton, if we're feeling pain, Myra Singleton, if we're feeling pain, Viola Moreland, the thing that we want to do is we want to alleviate or get rid of the pain as quickly as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Right. So we try to move from pain to pleasure, and a lot of times we end up making a whole lot of casualties along the way, because what happens? Hurt people.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And you end up bleeding. People. Let me give you this one. Let me give you this, because I want this to be a conversation. I don't want to be giving a whole lot of soliloquies.
You good, man. Take your time.
If you read my book, when you read my book, you'll discover that I wrote chapter 1 at the end. I didn't write chapter 1 at the beginning. I wrote chapter 1 at the end. Because if I would have left chapter 1 as chapter 1, nobody else would want to read my book.
Wow.
Because of where I started at. I was in a low place when I started. It would have been a constant bleed. But when I wrote the final chapter at the end, I was healed. Ooh,
wow.
God. And so I said, let me go back and do this again. And I went back and I rewrote chapter 1. And I think I called it Now I'm Ready. You know what I'm saying? Because because if we're not careful while we hurt, we start to go out. See, that's why they quarantined, during the pandemic, because we were so contagious. What'd they do? They quarantined us
Absolutely.
because they didn't want sick people being around other people that they could end up making sick.
Right.
When you come out of a relationship, especially when you've been wounded, when you've been hurt, it's best to isolate, to quarantine. But sometimes we want to run into these new relationships and we carry that pain looking for pleasure.
That's good. That's good.
Has anybody in the audience, have you ever done that? I mean, because everybody was telling me after my divorce, man, just move on. Man, just get you another woman. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't hard to get another woman, but I knew what state I was in, LP.
Yeah.
And I knew, and I'm be honest with you, I don't like fights.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like, just superficial, women that don't have any substance. They don't do it for me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll get bored. I'll get, what I mean? I won't even see you, to be honest with you. I'll be like, can you leave? I used to be, I would have company. This would be my favorite word, LP. I know you can't relate because you've been married so long, but this would be my favorite word. What you about to do? Oh, well, I was going to stay. No.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to be, it was hard for me to be around people. You understand what I'm saying? And so, and then part of it was I was still, and people like, you must be in love. Yeah, I was in love. Hell, I was married to the woman for 20 years.
Absolutely.
And I messed it up. I knew I messed it up at that point. So it took me some time. Now, I'm hear this. Now, there was a part where I didn't know if I loved still out of obligation or adoration. And there's a difference. See, you can love out of obligation.
Break it down.
Oh, man. See, you can love out of obligation because you feel like you broke something that you needed to fix. And because you left responsibilities over there. So because you broke it, you want until it's fixed as a man, you're not comfortable. So you don't know if you love out of obligation or you love out of adoration. Do I really just love her that much that I can't live life without her? Wow. Now I learned that answer later on, and that's my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep that one to myself. But I learned that lesson later on when a new scenario was presented to me. And it was not until I had the answer to that question until I could effectively move on.
Wow, man, that's good.
Bro, I was not putting any effort in any extra. So when they talk about doing the bare minimum, I was doing less than that.
Wow.
So when I was told, man, you didn't do enough courting, you only did enough flirting, I was like, and?
Right.
I wasn't trying.
Wow.
I appreciate you, but I wasn't trying. So that's my question. And LP, feel free to jump in and wherever if there's anything you can relate to. But that's my question. Is there anybody? How long does it take, Viola, Elder Lisa? How long did it take after a breakup? I think Elder Lisa, I think you told me earlier. But how long did it take after a breakup for you to move on? Real talk. Do you just move from one relationship right into the next one? Or do you take a mourning period? Y'all give me some feedback and let me know. Let me LP. Let me and LP gonna keep talking.
Well, I was only what 23, 22 years old whenever I removed myself from the relationship that I was in before I met my wife. I was only like 22. I got married at 24.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So I definitely, I can fall into that category. You know what I'm saying?
How long did you take before you started dating after the breakup at 22?
2 months. 2 months.
How long was the relationship before that? The one that you were in, the one that you were 22 when you broke up. How long was that relationship?
Year and some change.
Now, but I'm gonna ask, and God forbid, because I know it would never happen, but I wonder after 20 years of marriage and then going, because see, this thing about it with me, bro, when I went back into the before I started dating, before I got married, that wasn't even the internet.
Exactly.
I take it back. When I first started dating, there was no internet. When I got married, there was the internet, because I forgot we get married in 98.
Oh yeah, they had the internet. Yeah, they had the internet.
But we started dating in like 94, 95.
Oh yeah.
Range. So
Yeah.
internet hit hard in what, 96, somewhere around that range. So man, cell phones were brand new. You know, the World Trade Center hadn't been hit yet. You know, all these things had been, the world had changed. Online dating definitely wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
back
Absolutely.
then, we used to actually go to a woman's house and pick her up and take her on a date. You didn't just meet at the establishment. You know, it was a
Yes,
whole,
sir.
it was a totally different world than it is right now. So coming back into the dating pool after
Ooh.
17, 18, 20,
I'm sure that was a
you,
challenge.
you see what I'm saying? You know, and, you know, I got over my high school sweetheart and my college sweetheart pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? But when you invested years and decades and raised children and all those types of things, you know, that's a different
Wow.
type of breakup. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
that's why I asked the question, because I'm not limiting the concept. I'm not limiting it to divorce. I'm using the whole broad retrospect of a breakup, because a breakup is a breakup. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, let's look at it from this perspective. Okay, this is just I don't have no data. I don't have no proof, no evidence, none of that. This is it all in theory. Okay. So what if a person was to go from one relationship to another relationship with someone who is nurturing, loving, supportive, patient, right?
yeah.
And is able to help you to heal and go through your mourning process.
Oh, I believe it's possible. And because one thing about me is I don't think there's a panacea to any problem. I don't think there's a cure-all to any problem. You know, one size fits all, any answer. I think there are always specific situations. Sometimes we won't even know we're healed until we're in our next relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, because you learn things. You know, one of my favorite sayings, one of my friend, she told me to put it on a t-shirt. And I'm going, well, I better not say it. Well, I already have. So y'all can actually go to my website and get the t-shirt. But it says, life lends lessons. We just have to consider the clues. Right. So in every relationship, you know, you're learning something. You know what I mean? And you and I had the conversation the other night, and we talked about growing up in a relationship, right? And I'm sure in 20 years, you know, how many children you got?
3.
Okay. And how long did y'all wait to have the first one?
2 years.
Okay, so by year 7, the 5-year-old, by year 7, the oldest was 5 years old, right? And
Right.
so you can really equate the development of your marriage to the age of your child.
Absolutely.
You know, because even at 7 and he's 5, you know, now you know, if you lay the clothes out, they can put the clothes on. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
you can stand in the mirror with them while they brush their teeth. You know, if he's a boy, you can teach him how to aim for the spot. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you're starting to be intentional about your relationship. At 10 years old, you know, you can almost leave him at home by itself. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kind of, you know, get a little more self-sufficient. You can kind of equate the growth in your relationship. But even in that growth, if you don't manage it properly, LP, sometimes you'll grow apart.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
That's good teaching.
As growth takes place, there's also groaning, because it hurts. Growth.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people grow, they stretch, because
Absolutely.
if a shoe if your son, if you don't buy your son new shoes, eventually he'll start to outgrow the ones he's in. And if you make him wear them, tight shoes hurt.
Yes.
So you have to stretch the area enough where there's room to grow within that area. And that's where the trust comes in, right? But
Absolutely.
when you betray that trust,
wow.
then that's when the real groaning takes place, right? And then groaning sometimes stunts the growth.
Wow.
If you don't figure out how to get a handle on and start managing that growth again, right? That's what happens in relationships. You grow apart.
Wow.
And nobody was mature enough to stand up and say, "Hey, look, we growing in the," you know, like, I mean, I got somebody I've been kind of spending a little time with lately. And whenever there's anything that remotely resembles an issue, one thing I notice about her is she'll ask questions, and they're never offensive questions. You know, it's never anything that would sound combative or contentious, you know, or anything of the sort. I mean, maybe because we're almost the same age, I don't know, and we can both, you know, articulate, so we can both effectively communicate. So I guess that plays a part as well. I'm looking at this door open. We gotta go. I got a ghost in here. There's a dog trying to walk in here. But
Yeah, that's
you better get the
definitely the
Holy Ghost
case,
in there. Come
man.
here. Hold on, let me rebuke this in the name of Jesus. You better get out of here. I'm just joking.
But no, that's definitely a thing, man. And for myself
Like
personally,
that.
I made it because the Bible says that and I don't know if I can go there. Can I go there? Can I go there?
Go ahead. No, this was,
Okay.
hey, I've been preaching for 30 years. So you think you can't go there?
Oh no. I'm just asking,
No, come on, bro.
Nah,
I'm a preacher who cusses a little bit every now and then, but I'm under construction.
it's all good. But nah, the Bible says that man is head of his wife, right?
Yeah.
So that word head means example. You feel me?
Okay.
And so as the example in my home, anytime when it comes to our marriage, when things get rocky and conflict is inevitable, it's going to happen, right? You can't run away from it. You can't run around it. So anytime when there's conflict, as the head of my home, I've had to set the example to where if there's any conflict between me and any of my children or me and my wife, we're going to pursue one another after the conflict.
Explain
right?
that. Pursue one another. Okay.
Okay, so when if there's an issue, I have to get on my son, I have to punish him or deal with him, get on to him, whatever the case may be. After it's all over, you done went to your room, got you a breather, I done got me a breather, we're going to report to the table and we're going to sit down, we're going to have a discussion.
I like that.
You feel me?
Yeah, go take a breather.
I'm going to explain to you why I responded the way I did. I'm going to tell you how what you did made me feel, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to ask, okay, why did you, how did this affect you? Like, how do you feel? What is your thinking? I need to know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same thing with my wife. You know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling emotionally detached from my wife, I'm going to purposefully pursue her. Yeah. I'm going to purposefully talk to her. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling totally disconnected, but I'm going to send her a text message and say, hey, what's going on? Or I'm going to give her a call. Hey, I'm just checking in. Right. Yeah. So that's the example that I've set in my household. So whenever they are feeling some type of way or whatever the case may be, they're going to pursue me. Yeah. And vice versa. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's easy to grow apart, bro. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to especially in our marriage, it's easy. It's easy. But it's just on purpose, I'm going to, all right, I'm not feeling it right now, but I'm going to purposefully, hey, babe, can we meet for lunch? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna meet up with her and we're gonna have lunch and okay, all right. Now this situation that we kind of, what we got going on, like what's your thinking on this? I need to know what you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, somebody like me, I'm very observant. You feel me? And I usually can understand why, I'm an empath, you know what I'm saying? So I can pretty much pick up on what's going on with folks and how people feel. You understand? Yeah. And I'm gonna, hey, let's walk through this. You know what I mean? And we're all, as we get older, so we got so much childhood trauma that we still trying to work through. You know what I'm saying? And like I have been, I'll make myself the martyr and hey, I got this going on because you remember I told you about, I got this with my daddy issues, you know what I'm saying? And as a result, this is the reason why I kind of operate and function like this. And so it's giving her a template to look at what she got going on in terms of her childhood trauma. And so whenever she is triggered by me doing XYZ, okay, I know why she triggered. She's triggered because I did this. This reminds her of, you know what I'm saying? This reminds her of, okay, that's why she's triggered and acting this. So you know what I'm saying? So we can kind of pick up on things, you know what I'm saying? And us as leaders, you know what I'm saying? We have to be able to read the room in order to lead the room.
Hey, let me do a quick commercial. Then I want to get on the other side of this commercial. I want to make a quick point, and then we'll move forward. Hold on 1 second, okay? I'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
In the blink of an eye, everything can change.
20 years of marriage, 3 beautiful children, a home filled with memories, gone. James Kirkland II was left with nothing but the silence of his own thoughts and a couch that became his prison. But in the depths of despair, subtle reminders of purpose began to pierce through the darkness. God had not forgotten him. In every small sign, in every whisper, in the stillness, James began to rediscover who he was and why he was still here. Stuck on the Couch is not just a story of loss, but a journey of resilience, faith, and the courage to embrace a new normal. Available now wherever books are sold. All right, so we're back now. LP, you brought my memory to something. I did a family and planning class in undergraduate school, and
Okay.
one of the articles I remember reading is The Art of Fighting Fair. And one of the things I remember and that stuck out more than anything in that article was whatever you're talking about now, you could talk about in 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, the climate can change, you know. But what I applaud you for being man enough to lead your home to pursue each other after a conflict, right? Because I think so many times we leave room for error by not having discussions, right?
Right.
So many people have conversations in their own head. Do me a favor, if me and you together and you have a conversation in your head, at least let me know what took place during that conversation.
Right.
Because
That's only fair.
I know so many people who get mad at the conversation that you had in your own head.
Right.
Because you can assume. I was looking at a podcast today, and it was a group of guys, and I hate sometimes where it's a group of guys and a group of women because it seems like it's a battle. It's always a conflict, and the guys were telling the women how they felt, but then the women were telling the men how men feel, and it was different. And so I was so confused, right? Because real talk, the women were telling the men were saying, okay, this is how we feel about this. We like this, yada, yada, yada. Well, now I can get a man because men like this. I mean, if I'm giving you the Cliff Notes, I'm giving you, you can easily, what? One thing I've learned, man, like I said, life lens lessons. I'm considered. If I hear women talking, bro, I'm gonna listen because I want to get the edge. I'm trying to get, it's like the Patriots watching the other team practice. I want to know what kind of plays you're gonna run at me, right? So if I hear free game, I'm taking it. But some women, not all, because I love women. Don't get me wrong. I think one of the best things men God ever made was a woman. I promise I do. But when some bruh. So if there's conflict, and like I said, I appreciate my friend because if there's a conflict, she's gonna be like, now, okay, now what were you thinking? And we can talk about that, and it's not contentious, it's not an argument. It's just now I ain't gonna lie, I think one of my mistakes I might have made in my marriage, LP, is I didn't argue enough.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to argue. I don't like arguing with people. I don't argue with nobody I can't fight.
Right. Right.
I don't fight women. So why are we escalating this discussion? You know what I'm saying? If we can't, somebody asked me once before, they said, well, what's your biggest turnoff when a woman raises her voice at me?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, well, what's the, but you don't realize who I hear when I hear a woman raise her voice at me, I'm not necessarily only hearing you. I'm hearing who raised their voice at me in the past, and I didn't want to hear it back then.
Absolutely.
I couldn't do nothing about it back then. Now I can do something about it. And I'm going to walk away is the first thing. First of all, I ask you to say, first, when you raise your voice at me, I'm going to say, who you talking to?
Come on.
I'm not even going to say who the F you talking to. I'm not going to say who the H you talking to. I'm going to say it respectfully. I'm going to say, who you talking to?
Right.
Oh, well, because I'm not your child. and I'm not gonna be talked to like a child because I wouldn't talk to you like a child, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Trigger, that's my trigger. I ain't gonna lie, Miss Milton. Raising your voice at me, especially if we supposed to be my love interest or whatever, raising your voice at me is a bad way for us to. We're not gonna go very far because, like I said, you don't know who I hear in that moment. I might not only hear you.
Come on.
I heard so much yelling probably as a child or whatever, you know, and not that I was abused.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but you don't, but the authoritative figures in your life sometimes, you know, it kind of made you feel some type of way. So
absolutely.
So you have to be careful when you're dealing with someone. And I appreciated that individual for asking me what my biggest turnoffs were, because guess what? Since then, they haven't raised their voice at me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I haven't raised up my voice at them. And by the same token, I've done the research to learn the things they like.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
So, you know, so I don't know.
So with stuff like that, what would you? I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off.
No, I appreciate you for cutting me off because I would have kept rambling.
Okay, well, for some people on the other end,
okay,
when it comes to arguing and going back and forth, for some people that's a turn on.
And
you
they
get what I'm saying?
And they need to be together.
Think about that. Think about growing up. Think about that couple that was always fighting and fussing, and you feel me? And then they go somewhere, and they.
I saw it on Andy. Hey, look, I saw it on Andy Griffith today.
that couple
saw it on Andy Griffith with that couple that was arguing, throwing plates and stuff at each other, and then when Andy made them say good morning, dear. And how you doing, dear, and all that stuff. And they were miserable. They were arguing and fussing at everybody else because they couldn't argue with each other. But then when they figured that out, Andy went over there and started the argument. And next thing you know, they back is just as happy as they could be. You know, they'll stop arguing and say bye and all that kind of stuff. But what you call that LP is a
toxic.
Rhythm.
It's very toxic.
It's a toxic rhythm, though.
Yes.
Because some people have, you ever heard the statement, we march to the beat of our own drums?
Absolutely.
Everybody's rhythm ain't the same. You know, I'm not good on the one, and I'm not very coordinated, but I still march to the beat of my. I wish I could learn that to me. I can't do the cha-cha slide, so I ain't even gonna try to jump out there.
But the people that's on that same timeline, what they do is they form a trauma bond. You feel me? That's a trauma bond. You feel me? So when they operate on that timeline, when they get into a good argument or a good fight, what they doing is they're raising their cortisol levels. And once their cortisol levels go up, it gives them a burst of energy. And so once their cortisol levels go up and that burst of energy come, that's when they take care of each other sexually.
Yeah, that's that dopamine they talk about, right?
Absolutely.
It's that dopamine. It's like a drug. It's like
absolutely. So they need it. People that need drama, like they got to go into a room and they got to start some mess. You feel me? They need it. They're addicted to it. You get what I'm saying? And so people that's on that timeline, and so on the flip side, somebody like yourself, that's a turnoff. Like, you get what I'm saying? And so yeah. So once you learn that about somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a conversation with, like, I'm very passionate. So like when I talk about a particular subject and I get passionate and I raise my voice, you feel me? This brother, hit me with a text a little later on and was like, hey man, I really don't appreciate you raising your voice at me. And I was like, huh? I text back like, what you mean? What you talking about? He's like, man, you were screaming at me. I was like, huh? And so immediately I texted him back and I was like, let me ask you a question. Did you have family members that would raise their voice at you and scream at you when you was a kid? He said, yes. I said, bro, I texted him and I said, I will never raise my voice in your presence again.
Wow. And that's powerful. That's strong.
Because the Bible says, know them that labor among you. You feel me? So whenever I'm engaging with someone and talking and dealing with somebody and I learn this is a trigger point, you get what I'm saying? So what you saying to me, I know, I got a mental note. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that brother.
Exactly.
I'm not going to raise my voice at that brother. I'm not going to argue with that brother because that's You get what I'm saying?
Pre-
So love says, I know your trigger point and I will stay far away from that trigger point as possible.
That's good. That's good. Love says that.
Yes.
That's Alicia Milton said, I dated someone that liked to argue. When I thought about it, I realized that's the way his parents function. Now, in that moment, because she's equipped with new knowledge, she has a decision to make. Does she want to hang around and work with him through this? Or does she want, because if it's too bad of a trigger, she has the option to move on. It's good to learn that sooner than it is to learn it later. Because let me just say this, LP. Moving on takes real courage.
Yes.
Because divorce is a death. Don't get me wrong. Divorce is like a death. But once you moving on, it's become even more final.
Wow.
Because I ain't gonna lie, sometimes when I would think about moving on, and please don't take this the wrong way, because I promise y'all, I'm healed. It's like the scar on my hand. I have moved on. But in the beginning, those first couple of years, sometimes if I did try to see somebody else, I know this is gonna sound crazy, LP, but I'm gonna just say it. I would purposely try to resent the other person because they weren't who I wanted them to be.
Right.
Because I wanted them to be her.
Right.
And I'm like, you trying to take her spot? Oh, I had a girl tell me one time, well, I don't think I could ever compete with her. I said, why would you try? I ain't even never view and I before it snuck out my mouth. But moving on takes real courage, and you really have to be healed. Now,
absolutely.
I think, and this is just me talking, we almost done. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know we've been on that long. That's pretty not bad. But I think that it's a lot of times, and ladies, y'all can help me out on this one. I think it's easier for women to move on than it is for men to move on.
You can't whoop your motherfucking back.
Dang.
I'm sorry. I'm this sister going off on her baby. Yeah,
Bless her heart.
She giving her a hard time. I'm sorry. I'm finna get off in a few minutes because I gotta go out here and visit this student. He asked me to come out to his game. So
okay, no problem. I appreciate that. No, I'm about give me about 5 more minutes. I'm probably going to get out of here. But
yes, sir.
Let me say this. I think it's easier. You know why I say I think it's easier for women to move on than it is for men?
How so?
Because I think women leave before they leave.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, yeah, I think they plot. No, they've because it takes them so much courage to get to the point to say that they're going to leave. That
when a woman's fed up,
ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Shoot, mine had already found a lease on a new house. You know what I'm saying? Had paid the mortgage and had done everything else before she came to me and told me that she was gonna move. You know what I'm saying? So that plan had taken place years or months before. Alicia Milton said we do. So I think women make even when women cheat, you know, not you know, LP, I did a post a couple years ago. I said, ain't no love like a married woman and her side dude. And that post almost went viral, bro.
Hey, he keeping it real. You keeping it real,
bro. When they do it, man, they do it for different reasons, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it because they're not satisfied. You know, men are cheat for greed. You know, they just for it's like lifting weights and all, and it's not right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not condoning it at all. Please know I'm not condoning it at all. But we can do it with no emotion at all. You know what I'm saying? Typically, I think a woman would put some type of emotion in it. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it a little bit. So when they finally when they finally get that courage up to make the decision to say that I'm gonna leave my family or I'm gonna leave my husband, by that time they gone.
Absolutely.
Donnie Grays Lorinda Donnie says, I think we experience heartbreak. Hold on, she took. I think we experience a heartbreak earlier in life than men do. Okay, I think so.
I can't agree with that.
You think men experience heartbreak quicker than women before earlier?
Absolutely. That's the reason. Think about it. If a guy makes a decision to commit to a woman, like he's all in, because we don't do that. We don't make those commitments. So whenever we do make the commitment, and the woman don't do right, oh man, it's the worst pain ever. Because again, see, a woman will commit to something or someone easily. Think about it. Even in church, a woman to commit to a pastor quick. Men, nah. Okay, I think I commit to this pastor in this church. But a woman should commit quick. A woman to commit to a guy quick. But a man making a commitment, so whenever he do make the commitment and the trust is broken, oh man, come on, man.
I
And
I think heartbreak is just heartbreak to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially because nobody likes to be hurt.
fair enough.
You know, and even even the cheater. You know what I'm saying? Especially
Yeah.
because you can say people can say what they want. You know, if you cheated, you didn't love her. That ain't true. That's not.
Nah, that ain't true. That ain't
That's
true.
not, I mean that's your emotion speaking, and I get it, but that's not always true. You know, because even when you get caught, you upset because you got caught. Well, hell, that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? But still,
Right.
I'm upset because of what I'm losing as well. I'm upset because of what I forfeited. What I forfeited. The word loss in the Greek, when Paul said, "I count all things but loss for the excellency of not." When the word loss in that context means I forfeited. I didn't give it up.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So when
That's
you
good.
so when your actions cause you to forfeit something that that you knew was good for you, then yeah, that hurts. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
you have to deal with that. And that's one of the biggest things going on. LP, man, I ain't gonna hold you up, bro. I know you got you out mentoring, and I mean LP's doing this thing in Birmingham. He owns a barbershop. He's mentoring people. He does music, a whole bunch of things. I can't wait for us to do some more things here in the future between Birmingham. I-20 don't go and ain't that far away, so
Absolutely.
we can make it. We can make something pop. So we're gonna do that. But man, I'm gonna let you go, bro. I appreciate you. Like I said, I would love to keep you on this conversation, but like I said, I know I don't want to hold you up. I've
Man,
held.
it's all good, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Let me get in here and work with some of these children and show my face, and you know what I'm saying. And then I gotta make my way back to the house, man. So yeah, man. Thank you so very much for having me on the program. I enjoyed the dialogue. Congratulations again to you with your book and everything else that you got going on. Much success and be blessed, man of God.
Likewise, man. I appreciate you, bro. All right, so it's just me and y'all now for a few minutes, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let me put the phone number back up in case anybody wants to. Y'all can't see the top of my head. Let me take this thing off. I don't like top of my head being covered up by that banner. But let me put the phone number back up. Put the phone. Let me find the phone number. Put that back up, please. So if anybody wants to call in, and the link is there as well. I really want to know, Alicia Milton, Lisa. I think Lisa, you might have answered earlier. Donnie, you're in the audience. How long does it usually take for you to move on after a breakup? I'm going to get a couple of these questions on Facebook, and then I'm going to get out of here. But one Gatlin Harris, when I asked him, he said it takes for men at least 2 years. And he said it, and then when he answered it in a general context. He said for men, at least it takes 2 years. Now, I asked him how long it took him, and he said he was at 6 years and counting. So 6 years later, he was not or is not ready to move on. Now, by the same token, I asked Patricia Harris, and Patricia Harris, she said, let me scroll up, put it up here. Hold on. I can show you better than I can tell you. Y'all answer that question for me. How long it take you to move on after breakup? Patricia Harris said the next day. I don't sit around crying over nobody, especially if they didn't treat me right. Once I'm done, you might as well consider yourself void in my thoughts. And Coy echoed the same sentiment, saying, yeah, I don't waste time because time ain't waiting on no one. I choose to get over it. I choose to let it go. I choose to move on. Nothing from the previous experience is brought with me. So Gatlin is a man. Oh, hold on. Let me stop sharing. Gatlin is a man, and he said it's taking him 6 years and counting. But the women said, some of the women said that they move on immediately. How long does it take you to move on? It took me 5, 6, 7. How long? I've been divorced since 19, but I was separated at 17. So when does the clock start? Does the clock start after the divorce, or does the clock start after the separation? I'm gonna stay after the separation, even though it was a divorce. But so if it was from the divorce, 6, 7 years before I felt comfortable, and I'm comfortable now. I've moved on. Thank God. It took me a long time. It was hard out here. Well, I don't know how you say it, but whatever it is, I'm here. But I'm here now, and I am thankful that I'm here. So, but I'm getting ready to get off here because I really like. What time is it? 10 o'clock, and the rest of the football game is on. So I'm about to watch the rest of the football game. But I appreciate you all for jumping in because y'all ain't talking to me. If y'all talk back, I would talk because I really want to know how long does it take you all to move on after a breakup, or maybe perhaps everybody on here is in a relationship right now. I don't know. Maybe all of y'all are in relationships now, or you haven't been in a relationship in so long. I don't know, but whatever it is, how long does it take? But whenever you decide to move on, make sure you move on after you're healed. Number one, because it's not fair to take your negative experiences into the new relationship. It's not. It's not fair to yourself, and it's not fair to the person. Now my daddy, like I said, my daddy taught me something that was very vital, and I hold true to what he said. Daddy said you can learn something from anybody, even if it's what not to do, right? So there are lessons even in your past relationship. Everything couldn't have been that bad because y'all got together. Something happened in the beginning that you liked about that individual. Now they might have revealed themselves later. Let me see what Viola said. Viola said, it takes me a while. Hold on. It takes we dancing. It takes me a while. Don't jump into anything else immediately. And that might be the case. And I ain't gonna lie, I've seen people that I knew that were having an affair, or maybe or would messing around, while they were in the relationship, and then get into the next relationship with the same person that they had an affair with, and have a beautiful marriage and a good relationship. I mean, and people, I don't think there are any restrictions on relationships, right? Things can happen. Now, I think there are certain boundaries I wouldn't cross. Like I wouldn't mess with like friends, women, or something like that. But for the most part, yeah. You got to be healed before you move on. I don't know. And Nicole says, let me read Nicole's comment. Hold on. Let me log back in. Because Nicole said, she said something that psychologists say. They said 6 months for every year. Let me see if I can find that post again. Let me find this post one more time, and then I'm really going to get off for real. I'm not going to be on here long tonight. I'm going to watch the second half of the game. People don't know that I'm online tonight, so they're steadily inboxing me. But I'm gonna tell them. Oh, I meant to y'all. And before y'all get off tonight, anybody that's on here tonight, y'all say a positive affirmation and put it in the chat. Give me a positive affirmation. Today I had y'all say an affirmation, and I said I am worthy. And some of y'all said it. Most of y'all just like the post instead of just saying what I asked you to say. But do a positive affirmation. Say I am beautiful. Say I am loved. Say I am whole. Say I am worthy. Whatever you feel about yourself, write a positive affirmation in the chat, and we're gonna abide by that positive affirmation for the rest of the week until we meet again on Monday. So y'all write me a positive affirmation in the chat. Hold on, let me read what Nicole said. Yeah, about moving on and how long it should take. She said it depends on how long you've been over your ex. Some folks were over a partner while in the relationship. That's why she can move on so quickly after the official dissolution. I've heard a professional quantify it as 2 to 4 months for each year of the relationship. So if you're in a relationship for 3 years, no less than 6 months. and up to a full year not dating, doing your healing work, being single and not doing the healing work doesn't count. So I kind of like her answer. I not kind of, I do like her answer. That's probably a little too soon for me, 3 to 6 months, but I don't know. I mean, I know I could have moved on if I wanted to. I didn't want to. I chose not to. What's your positive affirmation? Let me put I'm gonna type mine. Maybe if I type mine in, y'all will type y'all's in. Because sometimes I didn't feel this way, but I do feel this way now. I am worthy. That's my affirmation. What's your affirmation? And are you going to abide by that affirmation? Let me put it on the screen too. I am worthy. And it feels good to say it. And it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to believe it. And typically, if you really want to remember something, you usually read it, write it, and recite it. So I'm looking at it. I wrote it down and I've recited it. And now I know it. I'm confident in that. I'm really confident in that. I really am. And I want you to be confident in it as well. Whatever your affirmation is, I want you to be confident in that affirmation. And I want you to walk, because you know what? We need, a lot of us are only a mindset change away. We're just a mindset change away. If we change our mindset, then so many good things are going to come to us. So many good things. You know, we talk about manifesting. You call it manifesting. I call it speaking in faith. You know, y'all call it what you want to call it in these, y'all new Negroes. I call y'all new Negroes, but y'all call it what y'all want to call it. But y'all call it manifesting or whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say that I am speaking in faith. Or y'all can't see it because for whatever reason, what I typed showed up. And okay, I see you. She Viola said, I am good enough. Okay. I love it. I love it. I am good enough. Anybody else got any more affirmations we can stand on tonight? Before we get off, I'm off here in about 3 or 4 minutes, unless y'all say your affirmations. Did I type the same thing again? Looks like my comments aren't coming in right now for whatever reason. New comments aren't coming in, so I'm gonna read them right here. But yeah, I am worthy. I am loved. I am whole. Anybody here whole? Are you whole? Are you healed? If you are, think on that and rest in that. Really rest in that. That's let that affirmation be your strength and be your guide. A.R. Milton put that on the screen for me. She says, failure is not getting it wrong. It's not trying. That's right. And sometimes, you know what, Miss Milton? I think it was it Max Lucado or John Maxwell? One of them, they wrote a book called Failing Forward. And I tell you that if your failure wasn't fatal, then your failure was actually fuel to further you towards your future. If you use it properly. Because life lends lessons. We just got to consider the clues. So if you use the failure properly, it's fuel, because it's just something in the process, just that little small thing that something, if you tweak it, it'll work next time. Let me see. Sheriff Field says, I am healed and I am whole. I am healed and I am whole. That's good. That's good. That's good. Anybody else got anything? Any other affirmation? I don't know why all the comments aren't coming through StreamYard, but I can see them on Facebook. So I am healed and I am whole. Thank you, Sheriff Fields, for sharing that with us. I appreciate you for sharing that. Who else? Lorinda Grays, Lorinda Donnie said, I am powerful. Yeah. Anybody else powerful? Anybody else here powerful? And you don't realize, I mean, grandmama had so much strength, but that was a little small woman, but boy, was she powerful. When she walked in the room, she commanded that room because she walked in faith and she knew who she was. And when you really know who you are and you're confident, you realize you haven't done anybody wrong, you can go to bed at night, man, you can walk with so much power. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Donnie. Donnie said, I am powerful. Sheriff Fields says, I am healed, I am whole. She says, I am loved. Yeah. Viola said, I am good enough. And sometimes people will make you feel like you're not good enough. Some people will try you like that. For whatever reason, they'll try you and make you feel like you're not good enough. But you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. In fact, when God made you just a little bit lower than the angels. But the difference is you got a song that the angels can't sing because you've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Whole different scenario. You got a different testimony. Yeah. Viola says, I am greatness. That's right. Absolutely. Believe that and walk on it, walk in it and stand on it. And if anybody tries to challenge that, man, they better meet you where you are. And if they don't, man, better get like me. At least get on my level. Or guess what? Or at least have what I'm missing. Why we want people just like us? Wouldn't that be boring? I mean, get somebody that has something that you miss. Yeah, you're greatness, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate you ladies for these affirmations. I appreciate you for your affirmations because all of these are powerful affirmations. You are loved. Your greatness, right? I mean, give me some more. What's some more affirmations? Because we don't know who's going to read these affirmations later on, and they might just need to hear this. I don't know. I don't mean. Sometimes you just need to hear it. Sometimes you need to see it, and sometimes you need to say it just to believe it. You can think all of these things all you want to, but when you put it in the atmosphere, then you've actually put God's name on the line. You've actually said, I believe that He's going to do it. And when you say amen, when you say amen, you know what that means? That means I believe what I just said. So when you put these affirmations out here and you stand on that amen about them, guess what? You believe what you just said. You believe that you're greatness. You believe that you're powerful. You believe that you're healed and that you're whole and that you're loved. You believe all of those things. You believe that failure is not getting it wrong. It's not trying. You believe, once you believe those things, then faith ensues. And when faith ensues, there's nothing you can't do. Yeah. See, some of our faith is limited because we don't believe God can do what we can't do. So we don't ask Him to do it. But if He wasn't God, why would we need Him to be God if He could do everything that we could do? That's when we lean not to our own understanding. That's what God is there for. And when you start to believe Him to do bigger, especially when you start working on becoming a better me, not a member. You know, a lot of us got churchology down, you know, and I think so for so many years we invested in church so much that we didn't invest in people. We invested in the building and in the substructure and in the structure and everything else that we didn't invest in the people. And when the storm of the pandemic came, most of us that were connected to the vine, some of us that didn't have strong roots, we fell to the ground. And that's why a lot of folk have not gone back to church yet, because the church was more focused on building good members instead of building good me's, instead of building good people, instead of building good individuals. I said this morning, we were so focused in hermeneutics and homiletics that we never focused on apologetics. People can't even defend their faith. That's why when every other wind of doctrine comes, they fall for it. Got all y'all saying, never mind. I ain't gonna say that. I don't want to start no smoke. I ain't gonna start no smoke. But I don't lend myself to familiar spirits. I'm confident in what grandmama taught me. I'm rolling with Jesus Christ until the end. And if I get to the end and find out something else was wrong, that's where my belief factor is. And it's worked for me. I had somebody one time tell me, I don't believe in the cessation gifts. I don't believe in laying hands. I don't believe in that. I said, well, let me ask you a question. I know you don't believe in it, but do I discount what I've experienced? What do you mean? I mean, if I've laid hands on the sick and watched them recover and I saw it happen, but because you say it shouldn't have happened, should I say that it didn't happen, even though I experienced it with my own eyes? Yeah, because that's the difference. We're in different levels of our faith. So when you start saying I am greatness and you put faith on it, when you start saying I am loved and you put faith on it, when you start saying I am healed, and you might even be in the healing process right now, but you put faith on it, man, please watch how things start to accelerate. Because when you start putting faith on it, now God has to put angels on assignment now and start saying, guess what? Oh, I got something to work with. That's why the scripture says just a little faith, the faith the size of a mustard seed. That kind of faith can move mountains. I don't know how I got on that subject, but hey, whatever. Any more affirmations before we get out of here? Any more affirmations before we get out of here? I'm having fun. All right, good night. Yeah, I'm about to get off here. But Monday night we'll continue the conversation. I started a little bit later tonight, so I know some of my people might have fallen asleep and all that kind of stuff. But I try to have a balanced panel. Try to have women and men. And Tiff G is having a Tiff. I have her on here sometime. Her birthday is today, so she's celebrating her birthday. All right. So if you all have not had a chance to get the book, go to my page. Go and get it. It's cheaper on my page right now because it's only $20. If you buy it from Amazon or Barnes and Noble, it's $22.97. But go ahead and get that book. Dontarius is going to be starting Zontarius is going to be starting a book club really soon on that. So y'all go ahead and get that read. And we're getting ready to get out of here, and I'm going to go to bed. But as I often say, and I always say before I leave, the world is changing. My question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night, and I'll catch up with you on next Monday.